Hello everyone and my dear subscribers. So today I'm going to try to convince you to create a support class in your class selection. I'll provide you with reasons why it is a good idea to have a support class in your collection of characters and elaborate on how they will benefit you in the future. You guys probably realize by now that supports are really good to have in a party when doing Guardian raids or Abyssal raids, because these raids can really hurt. Support classes in Lostark are usually equipped with 2 or 3 party shielding or damage reduction skills, as well as healing ability, which can significantly increase the survivability of the party members and success rate of the raid. Also, Lostark is designed in a way so that a party composed of 3 DPS classes and 1 support class in a 4-person party is more effective in terms of DPS than a 4 DPS class party. If it wasn't, what would be the reason for supports to exist in the first place? Those were the apparent reasons why supports are important. Now let's dive a little deeper. I'll start with the most important reason why you should have a support in your character selection. This might be irrelevant for now, but later down the road, you guys might be doing what could be called as the mutual carry runs in a static group. The purpose of the static group is to take turns in bringing the overgeared mains to carry the other members. For example, our guild has a static party of 8 people for 4 runs of Vykius Legion Raid, where we bring our overgeared mains to carry, and then the entry level characters take the next carry, and then we all take turns to bring a support to buff the hell out of the carry players. Now if you pug these raids, even in KR where people have more experience, there is no way of telling how long it will take to complete these raids for 4 of your characters. With the static mutual carry runs, it takes us about 1 hour and 20 minutes to complete all 4 runs. I'm sure you got the idea, but I want to give you another example real quick. This is our static party of 4 instead of 8, unlike the one I just showed you. This is the Kagul Seidon Legion Raid. We have a Reaper carry, then the Lancemaster carry, then my Destroyer carry, and this is what I want you to note, the Bard carry. As you can see, my Paladin is supporting the Bard carry. Now don't get the wrong idea, the Bard has 2 sets of build, one for supporting and one for DPS. He is not a DPS Bard 24/7. What I want to say is, having these static parties helping each other out can save you the stress and tremendous amount of time than having to pug all the time for the weeklies. I'm not trying to talk bad about pugging. There can be some pug parties which can clear raids faster than your guild party. But then there will also be parties which can physically and emotionally drain you. Another reason why you need a support is that I personally think I started understanding about the game more after I created my alt paladin and benefited in many ways. One of them is I know when to DPS. By now, I'm sure you've realized whenever you get a buff from another class, it literally shows which buff you've received. But it will indicate with the name of the skill and not like attack power of 15% or a certain percentage. So if you don't know the name of the skill, you don't know which buff you received. Here's another thing. I'm sure you guys have seen this AoE, and I'm sure at one point you didn't know what the hell this was and ran out of it. And I'm sure some of you still don't know what this is. This is a lovely Bard's AoE party buff skill with 6% attack power boost and 15% of Bard's attack power added to your attack power. Here's another one. When paladins float high up in the air and do a body slam on the enemy, expect his identity buff soon, because that almost fully fills up the identity gauge. Now here's the important part. If he's playing a DPS paladin, he would turn on the identity self buff and not the party buff. Now do you want to be the one saying, "Hey man, really appreciate that shield by the way"? Or do you want to be the one calling him out and putting him on the pedestal for a judgment and unveil to see if he is all that holy and all that justice, or if he's turned? Gotta know these things. Me, when I first started, I was so busy doing breathtaking damage with my soul fist, I wouldn't notice if a bard went outside the view and was healing herself with her own heal. Now I know how long it takes for support's identity gauge to fill up for either a buff or heal. So if a support was underperforming, that person is out from my party. Just kidding, they're still my lords and I remain at their mercy. But at least I will know what has happened and I can sort of feel good about myself. Which brings me to the next reason why you need to have a support class. We have bunch of DPS classes competing with each other. See who does more damage with what build, spending all this gold to set up your engravings and tripods, right? Do you think with the current support population in the West, that supports will have to compete to get into the parties? When Argos comes out, do you think a support will just show up at your door for your multiple tries at a boss? I'm not saying that all supports have this mindset of just tagging along for free clears. I'm sure that majority of support users take the role of supporting very seriously, but there just isn't enough for everyone. By theory, the population of supports needs to be at 25% from the whole population, and I bet for Argos, there's just not going to be enough supports. And the last reason why you should make a support class is because they're actually very fun to play. Supports go into the raids with very different perspective than when you go in with a DPS class. You develop a perspective to look at the whole battleground, unlike when you're playing a DPS class solely focused on doing breathtaking damage on the bosses. As a support class, you can observe the boss's mechanics a bit more and provide either according shield or buff or heal. You guys can call out for the right timing of the buff if you're in a voice chat, and it's strangely satisfying. So I just gave you a bunch of reasons to have a support class in your class selection. I hope that the reasons were reasonable enough for you to make a new support character, and I hope that waiting for support for your raids won't become an obstacle for your future raids to come. No? There's enough supports? Then good. Now I'm gonna try to make some guesses about questions you might have and answer them here. You might be wondering, so which support class is better? Play Paladin if you like male classes, and play Bard if you like female classes. If this isn't enough, I do have a comparison video, so check that out. Another question you might have is, what is the DPS build of the Bard that carried? I'm going to slowly show still images of the Bard's build, skill tree, and engravings, slowly so that I can make this video 8 minutes to put ads in the middle of the video. If you don't care for the Bard's build, thank you for watching, see you next time, bye bye.